Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly update. I'm Chuck Mayer, your host. A lot going on at Fishy Business today especially. We have finally gotten in a super large order of saltwater fish that I'm going to be going over momentarily. A lot of really cool freshwater fish have come in, especially a particular angelfish I want you to see. There's new products and things like that we're going to go over, and we're just going to try to kind of jump right in it. One thing that I do want to mention is something that's coming up for the November giveaway. We said we weren't going to say anything about it this early, but because of the timing and everything, I think it'd be a good idea. So, what we would like to do is our first ever Fishy Business food drive in lieu of Thanksgiving. And what we would like to do, and what we're asking is, we're offering a BioCube if you will bring in some type of canned good or something that we can put into our big 210-gallon fish tank to donate to the Oliver Gospel Mission. We want to try to help feed families and stuff like that for Thanksgiving. So with every food item or non-perishable that you can bring in between now and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, which I think is the 25th or 26th. I'm sure Connor will put a little blurb upside my head that tells whatever day that is. But we would like to, we will enter you each time that you bring in something. We're going to go back to the old ticket method for this, and we'll just do a simple drawing on that Wednesday before Thanksgiving like we have done earlier in the past, so you don't necessarily have to go online to register. You just have to come into Fishy Business, and as many times as you want to bring that particular item or some particular items in, we will get you registered for the drawing, and hopefully somebody can win a BioCube and we can help feed somebody this Thanksgiving. So that out of the way, I will remind you and bring things up. And let's get into Fishy Business. Okay, so if you're ready to let your imagination run wild a little bit, it has been a while since we've been inundated with lots of new rock and lots of new driftwood and spiderwood and all that stuff. But today we got in a really big shipment of it, 2 pallets to be exact. So there is a lot of really cool driftwood, lots of really cool lace rock that we have not had in a very long time. And this stuff is fantastic because it's very stackable. If you want to build caves and bridges, this is a great way to do it, especially if you have African cichlids and stuff like that. But really cool pieces of wood, really cool pieces of driftwood. There's more back here, so by the time this video airs, we should hopefully have it out in the store. And that's the first little piece of what came in this week. Really cool display of the Fluval FX4s and the FX6s. I've talked about these in the past, but in terms of a canister filter for both freshwater or saltwater, in terms of having a huge chamber to run lots of media in for whatever your purpose, whether it's cleaning, whether it's for biological stability, it is very, very hard to beat either the FX4 or the FX6. The only thing that really separates the two filters is their actual size and what they'll do. Mike and I and Andrew have a lot of these in service. They are easy to work on. They are pretty easy to install, and they are fantastic in terms of filtration. They have a smart pump on them, which literally shuts off once or twice a day, I think, to backflow everything through this filter. They sit in a very easy, unobtrusive place in your stand, and outside of not taking up a lot of room, they're just a fantastic filter for so many different reasons. So if you've never had a canister filter or wanted to inquire about one, this is one to ask anybody on the floor about, and we can kind of explain to you the benefits and what it does. If you want a good canister filter, the Fluval FX6 or the Fluval FX4 is definitely the one. For all of you people who are heavy into really super decorating freshwater tanks, these are fantastic. You can put all types of moss and all types of plants on them, live plants of course, and create incredible scenery. You'll see these in any sort of tank where you need that wow factor in one particular spot. And as you can see, the elaborate nature of some of these with even the smallest aquariums, I mean, that would work in a 5-gallon aquarium. And you can decorate it to the hilt with things or just use it as a structure that it is. So lots of new things in the driftwood department. Okay, so we're starting with freshwater this week, as we usually do, and I want to start with one particular fish that I think is so cool. You always hear terms of like blue and certain colors in fish, and you look at the fish and you're going, well, how is that blue, or how is that this, or how is that that? Well, this extra large blue angelfish that we just got in, that I will probably never get in, this is a phenomenal fish. It's only aggressive toward other angelfish, but if you wanted to put it in a communal tank with a lot of other types of fish, it is beautiful, and once you get up on it, there's no denying it. It's a blue angelfish. It has a blue sheen to the scales, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's phenomenal. It's almost like a platinum and blue mix. So I've got one of them, and this might be a really cool focal fish for your tank. Okay, so you want a small algae eater for a small aquarium, the panda loach might be for you. It's very cool. It's variegated, of course. It has lots of different color patterns. It's a great fish. It's a type of loach, so it's not going to put any heavy load on the aquarium. It's going to go with most anything that is very simplistic and non-aggressive. Good is small community tank. There's a big one right there. Something cool that we don't have very often. Also in the tank, you can see the Beckford's pencilfish that are swimming in the background, just kind of shooting back and forth. Another great small schooling fish that in and of itself, if it was just a single fish in a tank, wouldn't make too much of a statement, but in a school, it looks really, really beautiful. These are the Madagascar rainbows. And what I like so much about these fish is they're very akin to a Congo Tetra, not in temperament, but in the way the fins kind of flow off the fish and where the fins are the focal point of the fish. You know I love rainbows. Rainbows are just such a good, general, beautiful community fish. They're hardy, and we don't always have the Madagascars, but we've got a great school of them this week. Lots of fin development, lots of good color for these guys. Definitely a fish you should check out. I mentioned the silver dollars this week because of both their size. These are a perfect size to get started in a tank. Silver dollars look very much like piranha. They're cool in the way that they school together, and they're great in a semi-aggressive tank. So if you have a lot of barbs, larger bodied gouramis, you want to have a really nice school of fish. Again, with balas sharks, with iridescent sharks, anything like that, they're great schooling fish for a tank where they've got some space to move around, and you can see they almost go nowhere without the others in the group. So if you've got the wherewithal to buy a small little group of these guys, they won't let you down. Just the way they shimmer through the water and just the statement that they make as a schooling fish, really, really super cool. I like bloodfin tetras even when they're small, and you can see that bright crimson red on their fins that really shows them as a wow factor. But you can see in this particular tank, as little ones swim into view, just how big the blood fins came in this week. We don't often get to pick the size of community type tetras that we get in. We just get in whatever's in that week from the distributor, and this week the blood fins ran large. So if you want some bloodfin tetras that really pack a punch in terms of the visual appeal, these will absolutely do it. Electric blue balloon rams. I show these because we haven't had these in a while, and just what a pop of purple color that they have. Beautiful, beautiful small fish. If you like rams, or you like this particular platinum angelfish that wants to get into the photo for some reason, we've got these as well. You might wonder why I'm showing you this very sparse planted 300-gallon tank. Well, the reason I am is because I want you to see the pictures when they post online this weekend. We have not one, but 2 plant shipments coming in this week. Just because of a mix-up, we have actually double ordered the amount of live plants that we have, so we should have a little bit of everything this week, or basically by this weekend. So this tank will not look like this very soon. It will be full of plants, and while I won't be doing a video late Friday afternoon, there will be somebody shooting pictures of it and publishing those to Facebook. If you're in the mood or want live plants, we will have them en masse this weekend. So we have marbled parrot convicts in this week. I don't think science will ever stop trying to put as varied of a spin as they can on whatever they can, and these fish are definitely no exception to that. So if you want something that looks a little bit like a blood parrot, but a little bit like a convict cichlid, and a little bit like a marbled angel, I got one fish that has all three characteristics. So it looks like I've got maybe 5 or 6 of them. They are really cool, I have to say. So if you have a South American, Central American tank, or just a tank where you want to showcase a specific fish, this could be that fish. So definitely want to check those out. As it stands right now, pond season is dwindling. You wouldn't know it today with the 85-degree temperature, but we all know, live in the South, that temperatures will just arbitrarily drop. And right now is a great time if you want just a couple cool fish. We've got some really, really beautiful koi, pond comets, shubunkins, still left for the primary part of pond season. As I said a couple videos ago, we don't typically have this type of selection this late in the season, especially locally raised butterfly koi from Japan. The Matsubas, the Kim Matsubas, and the Harawaki I still have, as well as Yamabuki ogons, platinum ogons, and some pretty phenomenal platinum ogon butterflies. In fact, I may take 1 or 2 of these because they're really, really sharp. But anyway, side note, if you've got a pond, it's not too late to get them in there before winter rears its cold head, and I will end freshwater here. We are getting ready to go into saltwater right now, but first I want to actually move you along to our little coral specialist, who I want to discuss the latest corals that have been coming up. The last 2 weeks we have gotten in a lot of cool corals to restock these coral tanks that we've had, and so there is a lot to see and a lot to go over. So I asked Hayden if he'd take his top picks and go over them with you, and here he is right now.
All right, guys, so Chuck wanted me to show you some of the new coral we got. Got a couple of nice mushroom rocks, wall hammer, bubble coral, a couple different colors other than just green. Got a couple of reds here too, so come check them out.
So while a little bit stressed, this guy just came in. It's not that often, I know, hey, it's not that often we get a gold Orothoran puffer, especially one that's this beautiful and this size, but this is a beautiful fish. This week was abnormal in that we got a couple rare varieties that we very rarely get. One, because they're just not around, obviously, and 2, just because it takes a special kind of tank. Oh, he's yawning. Oh, now that was cool. We could not have asked him to do that. So yeah, these little guys, they will actually win your heart. So it doesn't get much cooler than this. He's tired of looking at me, so we will go look at some other fish. Okay, so a smaller version we also got this week. This is what they look like when they don't have the full gold, but it's coming even on this one, and swimming into view is a spotted one. These guys have been great since they came in. We've had them for 2 days now. They're swimming around and eating beautifully. And again, another glimpse of seeing a couple really cool rare puffers that are just phenomenal in both personality and in color. While not reef safe, the Cortez Angel is a great fish. It's great for a couple of different reasons. It is not very skittish, it is very bold. It's not aggressive though. Typically stays out. I have 2 in service right now. Both are in fish-only tanks or invertebrate tanks where they can't get to coral but can live with lots of other types of invertebrates. They'll go fine with triggerfish, they'll go fine with the most complacent tangs, and even little small things like firefish and gobies. Cortez Angel is a great general, pretty angelfish that, cool backward moves. This one's Michael Jackson apparently. But the Cortez is just a great all-around angelfish. Again, not reef safe, but I've got 2 in this week at 2 different sizes. So if you want a fish that's got a lot of color and you've got a fish-only or invertebrate tank, this is a very hardy fish to try. Okay, we're gonna start in this tank with the soul hole tang. This is probably one of the smallest soul hole tangs I've had in a long time, and it's great to put in a tank for a lot of reasons. There's no way to discuss how colorful this fish will become. I would tell you just to Google it. The soul hole tang is just a phenomenal fish from the Red Sea. It's great also to get them this size because they're a lot cheaper than when they're big. Soul hole tangs typically run a tank. When they get really big, they can go with almost any type of situation, whether it's a reef tank, fish only tank, they still will become a dominating feature in the tank. So having a small one is perfect way to introduce it to the tank. Great fish from the Red Sea, check it out. And also we have the Watanabe angelfish. This fish, hard to describe the powder blue type color that it has on it. You just have to come see it. Beautiful, beautiful swallowtail angel. The markings on the face are really phenomenal as well. It's just almost like this electric blue-black pattern that's right between the eyes on the crest of the head. But a great fish too. This is a fish we haven't had in a while, and it's probably one of my #1 fish for an entire tank. It's the purple tang. Really hard to get that much color, that particular type of color on such a beautiful, such a hardy, such a long-lived tang. They're worth the money, folks. The purple tang is probably one of the hardiest tangs that we sell. Again, another Red Sea fish. This is a perfect size because it'll go in almost any type of environment. It'll go in almost any type of saltwater environment, be it a reef tank, invertebrate tank, fish-only tank. This is one that's worth the money because you can actually depend on it to live and do well. The Harlequin Tusk just came in as well this week. There's not a lot more color you can get on a saltwater fish than this guy. While not a great candidate for the invertebrate tank because he'd eat pretty much most of what was in there, it's a phenomenal fish when you're just putting in fish and having a fish-only tank. It'll handle the aggressives, it'll handle the sweet fish. It's not going to really mess with anything that it can't fully eat. So great fish if you're in the market for a statement maker. Okay, in this shot you're getting both the emperor angelfish and the large porcupine puffer. Again, not reef safe, but both of them make great tank mates in a fish-only tank. Emperor angel, just an absolute statement maker. He's beautiful as a juvenile, he's beautiful as an adult, in which the colors are totally different. The porcupine puffer, a phenomenal fish just in terms of personality, overall awareness in the tank. It can hold its own in just about any type of tank. You just don't want to put the porcupine with invertebrates, and you don't want to put the emperor with corals. That was a quick trip through the first round of saltwater. And if that isn't enough, Andrew has gone to pick up the second round of saltwater that's due in right now. And that holds... This is the second time you've interrupted me while I've been trying to talk about your fish. You haven't told me anything. But
I'm in the video, you don't say. So there's a shark back there.
Coral cat shark. That's what Gracie decided to interrupt me about. Coral cat shark. She's decided that I can have my video back now, so I'm back talking about the coral cat shark. The reason we're bringing it up is because we don't typically get coral cat sharks. So this is a cool little species of shark that comes off of coral reefs. This is obviously a juvenile and a baby, but we don't typically have sharks just because of the amount of space that they take up. This is a good one because it's more of a elongated body. It is an elasmobranch that works well in a coral type environment if you have a big enough tank. So very cool. It will hunt out small little invertebrates and things like that, but it is also a super, super statement maker. So very cool that we have it, and that's where I'll end the saltwater video, I guess, until Gracie comes back in. Okay, so we're at the end of the video. I've successfully gotten my video back from Gracie, and it will be her that takes you through everything next week, as I will be out on vacation. So Gracie will be doing the update next week from start to finish. That should be fun. I hope she doesn't throw too much attitude. Anyway, there are a lot of saltwater fish, I was trying to say, that are coming in tonight. Andrew has gone to get them. So you do want to watch Facebook for that. Do pay attention to the canned good thing and our drawing for November. And ideally, I will see you back here in 2 weeks, and we will be back here in 1 week. Watch Facebook for other updates. Watch YouTube for other updates. Have a wonderful week. God bless, and we'll see you soon.